Well, her name is Stephanie Bray.
Hi.
And my name is Harvey Shaw, and we're actually competent crew of Coast Guard Brisbane here at Manly Boat Harbour. We've just had a call out, or what we call a marine assist. A vessel broke down in Loder Creek. The weather wasn't very good and it's just before Christmas, and we were hoping to just come down to the Coast Guard base because we're all volunteers here, come down and have a little coffee in the galley and enjoy the weather, but instead we had to put on wet weather gear and head out to Loder Creek and pull that little vessel in to Manly Boat Harbour. He had just bought the boat, in fact, and he'd spent $9,500 and taken 9 mates out, and unfortunately they didn't catch a fish or a crab. They just spent an awful lot of money to be towed back in. But they spent less than they would have spent if they had have got a commercial tow, because Coast Guard, being all volunteers, doesn't charge for personnel. We just charge for boat hours and ask for a donation. And so they got a cheap tow back from Loder Creek to Manly Boat Harbour. That is I think it's the end of 2011 now, just before Christmas, and that is about the 500th boat that we've pulled in this year. 500 boats, pretty close to 2,000 people we've rescued. That's basically what Coast Guard does. Well, Coast Guard Brisbane has 8 vessels in total, well 7 at the moment actually, there's another one coming, ranging from a 10-metre search and rescue vessel, which is our primary deep water search and rescue vessel, right down to smaller vessels like these jet skis, and behind us here these rubber duckies of various sizes, and the one we went out in, the 6-metre vessel. That's going to be an assist.
It's another job.
And Coast Guard Brisbane also has about 100 volunteers who work here. They work in 10 shifts, which we call rosters, and as a consequence we man this base every weekend and public holiday right throughout the year, and at Christmas time during the holidays we cover that roster as well, with volunteers doing radio watch and a rescue crew available. The main things we go to sea for here, the main troubles we find with boaties are breakdowns and petrol problems, either no petrol or water in the petrol, things like that. And those are the most common jobs we find. But there's a variety of others. People get lost at sea. People are reported as missing by their folks because they didn't log out and log in and have stayed out fishing too long or stopped in for a beer somewhere, and their parents get worried, or their loved ones back home get worried, and they call Coast Guard and we have to launch a vessel. The main 2 services we provide for boaties are a radio watch a log on and log off service, which is very important. A lot of boaties don't bother with it, but in fact you should always bother with it, because if something happens to you out at sea, we know where to find you if you've logged on. And instead of searching north, south or straight out to sea, we can go to the spot where you said you were going. And that can be the difference between life and death. The other service that we provide for boaties is a marine assist program which we operate, which is like the RACQ road service afloat. If you join Marine Assist for a small annual fee, wherever you break down, we will come and get you anywhere in Queensland and bring you back to land. If you have a problem out at sea, you can call us, no charge once you're a member. It's a small fee, it's a lot smaller than if you have to call in a tow, and of course you can call as many times as you want once you're a member, and we'll come and look after you at sea. Those two services are the main services Coast Guard likes to provide. But we also operate with the water police. If the water police ever have an important search and rescue, what we call a SAR, they normally call Coast Guard, and we're the first unit to be activated usually. We're the first unit water police activated in the Brisbane floods, and we have been on frequent search and rescue operations during the year. Even if it's during the week and our volunteers are at work, they will come down to the base and launch boats and go out and do searches at water police direction. So we get 4 or 5 of those a year. Usually if the people have logged on to our radio watch, we're able to find them fairly quickly. The ones that turn into fatalities are most commonly people who haven't logged on, think they know the water, have gone to sea and have got into bad trouble and nobody knows where they are. Radio? So that's
radio,
Marine Assist. What else do we do for people? Yes. In addition to all of those things, we are a flare collection station, so if you have out-of-date flares, we'll take them here and turn them over to the Department of Mines, explosives section. And we also provide some training. Certainly our volunteers who join up Coast Guard, they get fully trained. They do their ESS with us and they get trained up to competent crew, and beyond that to advanced crew and then coxswain certificate. You can do all that when you join Coast Guard as a volunteer. And you also do your radio certificates here. We put on a full range of courses so that our guys are always trained. That means also, of course, if you're out there and it's 3 o'clock in the morning and you're broken down, there's nothing quite like having a Coast Guard boat pull up alongside you and take you back home, and you've got the comfort of knowing you've got a fully trained crew on board as well.
When you are leaving home, it's a really good idea to leave detailed information about where you're leaving from, where you plan to go and when you plan to come back. This is all very helpful information for us, especially when your loved ones report you missing. It's also really important to list a mobile phone number or any radio frequencies that you're going to monitor while you're on the vessel. And it's a great idea to list who you are taking. So if you're going out with one of your mates, it's a great idea so that we know how many people to look for.
Our bottom line is funds.
That's right. We are a volunteer organisation and we do have to collect all of our own funds. So if you'd like to support Coast Guard, please look out for us at the boat shows for Brisbane. We're at the Tinny and Tackle and the Brisbane International Boat Show. We're also very happy to take money from you if you come down to the station. And more importantly, if you do own a boat, please join our Marine Assist program.